inciting unrest. He is sentenced to death by firing squad on December 30, 1896.
Objection natin sa kanila.
But then, the first week of May will be our final content to be topics 4, 5, 6, 7. So let us now welcome group 1. ladies and gentlemen, ma'am, classmates. Today, we will do a role play about the trial of Jose Rizal. Portraying characters, yours truly, the narrator, Mariela Jintan, our Jose Rizal, Andre Rizal, our Spanish prosecutor, Lieutenant Enrique de Albocer, and Rizal's mother, Teodora Alonso Villalona Cesarina. Our defender, Lieutenant Luis Gabriel de Andrade, Carl Flores. Our judge, Lieutenant Colonel Manuel Dominguez, Juliel Bugani. The captain of the firing squad, Captain Rafael Dominguez, Dean Acuña. And then we also have our witnesses, Rochelle and Dean Acuña. Let us now begin with our movie, starting with Scene 1, Case. It is December 26, 1896. The Spanish authorities, desperate to end the growing revolution, rushed through preparations for the trial of one man, Dr. Jose Rizal. Justice was not the goal, only his conviction. The trial of Jose Cortasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Realonda is now in session.
Your Honor, the accused is a traitor. He poisoned the minds of the Indios. It caused rebellion against the Spain.
Your Honor, Mr. Rizal is a man of reason, not man of war. He was advocated for peaceful reforms. He is not a traitor.
He may not look to that, but his words are far more frightening. It leads to bloodshed.
A court meeting. Let us proceed with the evidence.
Your Honor, we have a witness that can confirm Rizal's connection to the attitude.
I saw his name being mentioned in the Lipunan meetings.
Did you see him there? Did they hit the meetings?
But his name was mentioned.
Your Honor, admiration is not mine.
Another witness.
I heard rebels say that Rizal was their inspiration.
Did my client ever command them to rebel?
No.
Then why is accused of rebellion?
Your Honor, I have evidence. This evidence is a letter sent to Ferdinand Blumentritt. It discusses Filipino freedom, a clear proof of rebellion against Spain.
That was a philosophical discussion, not a call to arms.
And what of this? This discusses the relocation of Filipino people to Borneo. It is a clear proof that Jose Rizal wants to break away from Spain.
That plan was for the poor, not just Filipinos to have a home. It was never about rebellion.
Jose Rizal's book have once addressed the El Filibusterismo, the Lolita Perez, has fight against the Spanish government.
They seek to expose the truth of oppression. Should truth be considered a crime?
This man's existence is frightening to Spain. It is a danger. This drives the rebellion because of his words.
The court finds Jose Rizal guilty of rebellion and inciting unrest. He is sentenced to death by firing squad on December 30, 1896.
I die innocent, Father. My only crime was loving my country too much.
Will
And so, on December 30, 1896, Jose Rizal was brought to Bagumbayan. He stood with courage, facing his executioner. His final act of defiance, turning to face the morning sun.
Prepare, apunten, consumatumes, fuego!
Rizal's death was not the end. It only sparked the beginning of the Philippine Revolution. His conviction was meant to silence him, but his words lived through his fellow countrymen. Thank you.
this is actually found in our book. So instead of reading everything in a slide, we will only give you a short explanation. So the trial of Rizal was written by Miguel A. Bernard, S.J. Then let's proceed to the trial of Rizal. So his execution was marked by 3 qualities. So the only thing that you need to remember is first is haste, and then second is the meticulous observance of legal formalities, and the third is the disregard for the demands of real substantive justice. So those 3 will explain what happened during the trial of Rizal. So let us first start with haste. So when we say haste, this means speed. So if we actually look at the trial of Rizal, the trial of Rizal was done in a very fast speed. So the pace of the trial was exceptionally rapid, even proceeding through religious and national holidays. So for example, during the Feast of the Immaculate Conception as well as the Christmas, which is on December 25th, even though those were holidays and feasts, the trial of Rizal was still proceeded even without stopping. So if we look, the 3 points here are actually in the book already. So the highlighted parts are some of the documents necessary for Rizal's trial had not yet been obtained. Rafael Dominguez submitted the report even without them. So even though some of the files that contain evidence against Rizal were not yet there, they proceeded with the trial of Rizal because again the pace of the trial was exceptionally fast. So if we look here, this is a chronological event of what happened during the trial of Rizal. All of this is actually in our book. So if you want, I will send a copy in our group chat for those who does not have a book. So we look here that this is when the court, the Blanco endorsed the case of Dominguez, then the opening of the case. We also have the submission of the report, the endorsement, and then the submission of the dictamen, and then we also have the preparation of the materials for the trial. Then again, this is in our book. And then even though the administration was changed, they still did not stop with the trial of Jose Rizal. Because again, they want the trial to be as fast as possible. So regardless of the change of administration, the trial continued. So here we have Auditor General Miguel Nicolas de la Peña. He is now the one in charge. So he gave his decision, then submitted his brief for conclusion. And then by December 26, the sentence of death is already pronounced. But Rizal only found out about his death sentence 1 day before he was going to be executed, which was on December 29, 1896. This is when the death sentence was read to Rizal. And then he stayed in Catania. Then by December 30, Rizal is shot in Bagumbayan. So he died on December 15. So despite the preliminary investigation, the side of Rizal was given a long list containing 106 names, from which he was free to choose his defense counsel was told him. So because he was only given 106 names, Rizal's counsel had the limited ability to choose witnesses. So the government exerted significant control over witness selection. So dito pala makikita na natin na may bias na sa trial ng Rizal. Kasi may limitation siya sa pagpili ng witnesses na magagamit niya sa kanyang court. Next, let's proceed to justice. So on December 11, the same day that Rizal was arraigned, so dito yung nag-plead siya if guilty or not. So the jury's instructor, Dominguez, decided that there was no need for the prisoner to confront the witnesses who had accused him. If we actually look at it by our laws, required na may karapatan yung natatrial na makilala kung sino yung nag-accuse sa kanila. But sabi nila, huwag na daw makilala ng si Rizal. Then sabi nila sa Rizal, his name had been used as a rallying cry for Katipunan and the armed revolt. So alam niya na Filipinos outside of the court nag-cry sila for Jose Rizal, which shows their support for Jose Rizal. Then the petition was sent to Governor Blanco. Sabi nila, the prisoner should be allowed to issue such a manifesto. So Rizal originally wanted to issue a manifesto and dun nag-grant yun. And then Rizal was informed that he was allowed to write a manifesto and he wrote one, which was on December 15, 1896 by siya. Then on December 7, the case against Rizal was to proceed to trial. So kasama na siya kanina yung sa list ng timeline na nandiyan lang sa book natin. Then before he was even tried, or before pa siya na-trial, he was given, or even formally arraigned, sabi nila si Jose Rizal daw guilty na. So, di ba wrong siya kasi kailangan may due process of law tayo. Kailangan may substantive due process of law, may procedural due process of law. Pero even though kulang-kulang pa yung evidences against Jose Rizal, and hindi pa siya natayo talaga, sinabi na nila guilty na si Jose Rizal. So, kung consider natin dito yung nature of the trial as well as the evidences, so procedure and the substance. Next is the evidence. So, in a decent trial of criminal cases, the onus probandi rests with the prosecution. The state must provide beyond reasonable doubt that the defendant is in fact guilty of crimes which he used. So, si Rizal na-accused siya of two crimes. Yung isa, twofold rebellion, yung isa, illegal association. So, yung twofold rebellion, yan yung nag-rebel siya kasama si Andres Bonifacio. So, doon pa lang, gusto na nila makaya si Rizal kasi nag-rebel siya. And then, yung illegal association, if you look in our lesson last meeting, di ba si Jose Rizal, siya yung founder ng La Liga Filipina, which was on July 3, 1892. Pero nahuli siya by July 7, 1892. Kasi illegal yung paggawa niya ng La Liga Filipina. So, illegal association yung pagsampa ng kaso niya. Then eto, nandito sa book natin, the fiscal, si Enrique de Alos, incorporated the indictment in his words. So, meron siya first, second, and third. So, nasa book na natin ito siya, but I will not explain it na. Then, in La Liga Filipina, although Rizal admitted to drafting its statute, so nag-admit si Rizal, siya man talaga yung nag-write the start ng La Liga Filipina. However, the prosecution had to prove that these statutes were subversive. However, none of these points were actually proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And despite na wala silang ma-prove against Dr. Rizal, except for the fact na siya yung nag-found ng Liga Filipina, Rizal was still found guilty and sentenced to death. The evidence against him fell into two categories which would be discussed by Carl, irrelevant and the exclusive evidence. Oh no!
Okay, so brief explanation lang. Evidences that are used against Rizal are deemed irrelevant kasi are deemed irrelevant just to prove na siya yung nag-organize ng rebellion. These poems are just to express his love for the country that was twisted into treason, but they actually show this patriotism in which it is relevant na since hindi naman talaga, wala naman talaga evidence na isang Rizal ang organize ng rebellion. So, like, nasasabi ko kanina, several letters were deemed irrelevant. So, example dito is yung unsigned letter to Hong Kong talaga about Rizal's deportation. A letter from Antonio Luna suggesting discussions about the book. And another one from Marcelo Selvilla to Deodato Arellano regarding the TV speech. So, yung letter na to, wala talaga siya information about rebellion or illegal activities in Rizal. But one letter did confirm Rizal's membership in Brazilian society, in which ito yung Masons. In Hong Kong, he received a letter from Pedro Solano Lactao, honoring him with the Masonic title, Honorary Venerable of the Central Grand Lodge of the Philippines and Freemasons, affiliated to the Spanish Order. Hindi to denied ni Rizal, also since ito yung parang evidence na pwede na gawin ni Rizal since Masons is not declared illegal in the Spanish law. So this is not that invalid, it's not valid pa rin since wala naman sinabi si Rizal na mag-rebel siya against Spanish. So same pa rin, other irrelevant letters included from one from the Consulawel. So dito wala rin talaga sinabi na mag-rebel si Rizal o mag-organize na rebellion against Spanish. So in an absurd piece of so-called evidence, Aburula or Compass, ito yung dala ni Rizal which was misinterpreted by the authorities. Then Rizal explained it was a gift from Father Sanchez who was used it during scientific research in Mindanao. So yung prosecution deemed it as an evidence of rebellion. But di naman talaga ito showcase na ginamit ni Rizal to rebel against the Spanish authorities. So So ito yung mga main evidence na makita natin sa libro. So, main evidence nila is letters, witness testimonies, official dossier from the Governor General's Office. So, I think hindi ka naman sa libro. So, partial extraordinary letter, I think, binigay niya kay Rizal. So, it was addressed to Juan Zulueta and not Rizal. It was discussed the need for organization separate from Freemasonry for direct action. Authorities assume direct action meant armed revolt. So, akala nila yung direct action is walang something na expired ng rebellion. So, referred to the reorganized Liga Filipina identity and not Rizal's original Liga. Rizal had no involvement since he was exiled in Cavite that time. Ito yung witness testimonies. So, mga witness testimonies are mostly hearsay lang and not really reliable since wala naman masyadong concrete evidence na against Rizal na sabi na siya yung naka-organize ng rebellion. So, ito sa dossier naman, sa dossier nag-contain yung profile ni Rizal. While informative, the dossier did not provide concrete evidence of rebellion against Rizal's personal involvement in any illegal activity. Since profile ng Rizal na ako nila, wala masyadong evidence na mapapagdala kay Rizal na nagsasabi niya siya yung nag-organize na rebellion. Martin Constantino claimed Katipunan aimed to massacre Spaniards and make Rizal supreme leader, and Aguero de Rosario stated Rizal was honorary president, and his portrait was in Katipunan Session Hall. So, ito hearsay dito, wala masyadong evidence na nagsasabi na si Rizal naging head of the Katipunan, in which Rizal said, Rizal denied being the leader, saying, what kind of chief is he whose followers says yes and he says no. Next is Valenzuela's visit to the Vatican. Pio Valenzuela informed Rizal about the planned resolution. So si Rizal nag-discourage siya ng planned revolution since yung mga tao natin is not pa fully armed, not fully ready to fight against Spanish, just like the failure of Cuba's rebellion despite US support. So yung prosecution, ginamit nila yung Valenzuela's visit, but Rizal's disapproval of the revolution contradicted the claims. Next is escape plan from the Vatican. There were rumors that Rizal's supporters planned to help him escape. Na-confirm ko ni Rizal but did not provide any financial aid since he wants to be taken legally or unless by any force na if mag-continue ba sila ng palayain si Rizal. Next is Borneo Project. Rizal planned to establish a Filipino settlement in Sandakan, Borneo as a refuge from persecution. Yung project na to is misinterpreted by as a revolutionary act, but Rizal clarified it as a personal settlement plan lang. Next, yung explain natin sa libro, December 26, the 7th address, heard representative of defense, Rizal denying the involvement of rebellion. Since Rizal only wants to express his love for the country, but was found guilty of only illegal associations and inciting rebellion. Rizal was sentenced to death by firing squad. The sentence was commuted to face loss of civil rights and surveillance. The court reduced the financial damages from 1 million to 1,100,000 and bibigay ko sa mga heirs ni Rizal. Despite the prosecution plea to consider his Indio status as an aggravating factor, the court denied. So next is the December 28, na-confirm ni Governor Colabiaga na i-execute si Rizal December 30, 1986 at 7 a.m. in Bacabayan. In December 29, Rizal was informed. Rizal, ang nakita natin kanina, doon ang sinulat ni Rizal yung hearing others and yung parang confession sa Westwick East. And on December 30, doon na pinagay si Rizal at 7 a.m. So that's a long process.
Please share your PowerPoint to our GC. Yes, kasi mas gusto niya yung okay, so very good with the presentation. On the trial, masyado lang talaga siyang sophisticated. Yung trial ninyo na portrayal is parang yung current. Sa panahon ni Rizal, siguro hindi ka na siya lumang formal, no? Hindi. Military trial kasi yun. Baka lang hindi siya nagkaharapan din yan. So yun ang trial and execution of Jose Rizal. The receptors were right that the trial was made not to give justice but rather to prosecute Jose Rizal. Okay. So any clarification from the class? Pero baka hindi naintindihan.
Yes.
Meron?
Yes. Kaya kami sa kayo naiintindihan.
Okay, let's now welcome to the
Sila wag mo dyan ilagay yung snack eh, gagamitin namin.
Hindi yun ito makita. Yan sila makita. Mag-document ako? Sige.
Lapit pa kaya kayo. Kaya masih sa baba yan.
Magmamahal mo lang sa ito.
Ballpen din ko, ballpen.
Jadi anak sa nagwal ko ako. Pag-alis kira.
One fourth. Alphabetical tayo ha. Uy, nasa isa ng very. Yes. Mode. Father tayo.
Sa ilalim ng malupit na pamamahala ng mga Kastila, ang Pilipinas ay naghihingalo. Dalawang nobela ni Dr. Jose Rizal, ang Noli Me Tangere at El Filibusterismo, ang naglantad ng pagdurusa ng ating bayan.
Ngayon, ating isasagula ang mga trahedya ni Soto Rivera at ng kanyang pagbabalat kayo ng sismo at ang mga inosenteng buhay na winasak ng pag-aari.
Kaya nga.
Sa isang gabi ng kasiyahan, isang pagbabalik ng magbubunyag panyag ng ano hindi alitan. Crisostomo Ibarra, ang binatang nagbalik, ay harap sa isang mapait na alaala mula kay Padre Damaso. Kapitan Teatro, salamat sa pagdiriwang na ito. Itong taon ko pong nilintay ang araw na ito.
Maligayang pag-uwi,
Ang mga Ibarra ay herehe. Ang iyong amay naman ay sa binangguhan at ikaw ay magiging katulad niya. Sa isang tagpo na maliging Beatriz, pinagdang ni Ibarra na kausapin si Ibarra upang pigilan siya magdala sa gas. Ngunit mula sa mga anino, isang rebelde ang nagdala ng mas matinding na kaupahan. Si Don Rafael ay hinatay ng sinalingan si Padre Damaso. Huwag kang magpadala sa galit. Huwag kang maging katulad niya. Don Ibarra, ang kamay mo itinapon sa ilog. Ang sibahan ay tapat sa kanyang alaala.
Huwag nata. Yung isa ba?
Sa harap ng pangarap na edukasyon para sa bayan, si Ibarra ay tumindig. Ngunit hindi lahat ay sang-ayon sapagkat may isang makapangyarihang tinig na tututol sa kanyang adhikti, si Padre Salvo. Ang paaralang ito ay para sa ating mga anak. Karunungan ang magpapalaya sa atin. Mga Indio kayo! Hindi karapat-dapat ang mga edukasyon para sa inyo.
Hindi naman kasi salak pa ata tayo.
Sa gitna ng pagkailangan, isang rebelde ang nagpunyag ng isang mapait na lihim. Sa mga labi ni Elias, natuklasan ni Ibarra ang dalitan ng takot ng mga makapangyarihan.
Kaya pala.
Bukayin mo ang katotohanan, Don Ibarra. Ang iyong amay niliping ng walang bendisyon at ang lupa ay kinain na ng ilog. Bakit siya katasulan ng mga Fridays? Dahil nagtayo siya ng paaralan. Dahil naniwala siya na ang karunungan ay para sa lahat, kahit sa mga Indio. Makinig sa akin. Ang sistema ay hindi magbabago sa iyong mga Indio. Ito ay nagtutulong sa mga tubo.
Sasayaw? Sasayaw?
Bumaba ka! May bomba sa ibabaw ng tore! Sa gitna ng kabuluhan, isang malapit na pagsabog ang nagdulot ng takot. Habang ang sigaw ni Maria Clara ay umabot sa langit, si Tiago ay mabilis na kumilos upang iligtas siya.
As taas.
Ang mga Indio ay dapat na magsilbi, hindi mag-isip. Gaya ng iyong ama, wala akong nag-birth sa lipunan ito.
tumigil ka, Crisostomo.
Siguro nag-uulat ang din sa atin. Abusive ang asawa niya.
Habang ang hangin ay puno ng tensyon, si Padre Salvi ay naglabas ng matinding akusasyon laban kay Ibarra. Ito ang patunay, si Ibarra ay nagpapalo ng rebelisyon. Mga sinungaling, ang tanging kasalanan ko lang ay nagmahal ako sa bayan.
Ano role ni Ale? Filipino? Parang namin yung role. Maganda. Soldier siya.
Ngunit, ang tadhana ay may ibang plano. Isang lalaking may pangalan Elias ang magbibigay ng huling pag-asa.
Ang dami na girl. So, ganda nga.
Ang bayan ay nagbigay sa isang líder,
Let's see.
isang martir. Ngunit, ang paaralan ay hindi itatayo ng mga dokumento, kundi ng dugo. Isang araw ng pagsisiyasat, si Crispin ay pinagahan na magnakaw sa simbahan. Ang courtesy bill ay dumakot sa bata, walang awang, walang ebidensya. Ito ang ina ng magnakaw. Tingnan niyo ang itsura niya. Isang baliw.
Labas niyo ang anak ko! Mga demonyo! Sana mga anak ko!
Nay, ako po si Basilio. Umuwi na ako.
Hindi kita kilala sino ka. Kapit natin, sino ang mga demonyong kumain sa mga anak ko? Salita na.
At sa uling sandali ng kanyang buhay, nakita rin siya ang kanyang anak. Ngunit ang pagmamahal ay hindi sapat upang buuin ang masirang isipan. Ang pagkamatay niya ay tulad ng bayan, lunod sa pagdurusa at kumisa.
Sila dalawa?
Bago tuluyang mawala, nagpaalam si Ibarra, nag-iisang minamahal. At natuklasan ang pinakamasakit na katotohanan.
Ano mo yun? Si Alex na naman dyan.
At sa isang iglap, ang lahat ng pag-ibig ni Ibarra ay naging abo.
Haba. Kasi marami sila. Ano yan?
Sa huling sandali ng kanyang pagkatakas, ginawa ni Elias ang pinakamagiging alay. Ang kanyang buhay.
Parang ano ginagawa nila?
iisa.
So, sir,
Hanggang magbago ng kanyang pinag-isa. Hanggang magbago ng ano bilang isang halimaw na tinatawag na si Simon. No. Sinasabi.
ano na sila? Elpilina. Mga ano pala ng Elpilina?
Acto. El filibusterismo.
Elpilina.
No, hindi na kasi Enfield yung ikwento nila. Mahirap kaya bakit lang natin? Ang hirap na sa lahat.
Labing tatlong taon ang nakalipas at ang dating Ibarra ay nagbalik. Isang mag-aalhas na puno ng gitlog at galing. Basilio Isagani, ang kabataan na magpapabagsak sa buong sistema. Hindi kami inom ng serbesa ng kalasan. Sa puntod ni Sisa, inibunyag ni Simon ang lihim na siya ang nawawalang sa Ibarra. Tignan mo ang ibigan ng kayong ina. Ito ang bunga ng pag-aapi. Ngunit ang revolusyon ay mawawagi. Ang aking pinagsikat sa ospital, hindi sa timaan. Sa harap ng tapang at pangarap ni Isagani, isang marahas na pagsabog ng galit ang sumip na pumasok, si Padre Camora. Itayo natin ang paaralan walang pride. Turuan natin ang mga anak na magsasaka. Sedisyon! Kayong lahat ay mga traidores sa Espanya.
Feel ko pagod na nga siya. Kaya nga, pagod na yun. Kaya nga, pagod na yun.
Ang lupa ay sa simbahan. Magbayad ka o kukunin namin ang iyong anak.
Asawa ni ano? Asawa ba sila?
Ama!
Hindi na ako ng Diyos, kahit mas aking
mga barilas ng revolusyon ni Simon ay napuno ng pulbura at si Basilio ay nagdagdag na sumabog. Narinig mo ang nangyari kay Puli. Ngayon, pipili ka ba? Libro o ang baril? Wala na akong ibang mahal, kundi ang paghihiganti.
Yan.
Ang kasal ng mga elista, naghanda si Simon ng isang regalo. Isang lamparang magsasabog ng ilongin. Oras na, Basilio. Ngunit, patay na si Maria Clara. Paulita! Lumabas ka! Sasabog ito! Sa uling sandali, ang pag-ibig ni Sagani ay nadigtas sa marami. Ngunit, wakas na ito para kay Simon.
Kami yung nasabog ah.
Matapos ang nabigong pagkimagsik ni Simon, naubos, sugaran, at nagpapukpok kay Padre Florentino, tiyuhin ni Sagani. Dito, sa uling linya, ibinunad niya ang kanyang tunay na pagkatao. Ako sa slong ibala, resulta ng halimaw ng pag-aapit. Ang pagbabago ay hindi namumuno sa karasan, ibala, kundi sa kabutihan at katotohanan. Alam ni Simon na walang takas, desperado upang di mahuli at makulong. Nilason niya ang kanyang sarili.
Saan yung ginto?
Nabuhay ba?
Sinabi mo ba ang dapat kong maging martir at Hiberno? Paghabang ng biti mabuhay sa pakadaling mamatay. At sa huling sandali, itinapon ni Padre Florentino ang mga brilyante sa dahil. Isang simbolo ng korupsyon dapat nanunin ng kasaysayan.
Grabe, brilyante yan.
Ebidensya kayo namin.
At sa dulo ng ating dula, manatiling mabuhay ang tanong. Saan nagbawakas ang paghihiganti? At saan magsisimula ang tunay na pagbabago?
Ang non-denominary at alphabetical ay hindi lamang kasaysayan. Sila ay salamin. Nakikita ba natin sa kanila ang nakaraan o ang sarili nating mukha sa kasalukuyan?
Kung si Ibarra ay naging si Simon, at si Simon ay namatay ng walang naabot, ano ang magiging papel natin sa kwento ng bayan? Ang sagot ay sa ating mga kamay.
So that summarizes non limitare edel filibusteris. But then of course class take note sa inyong module, what you have there is actually a research output on the study made on the words of